Guys, I'm here in the community to raise awareness and at the same time to also let everyone know about some truths that I found and that is not very common these days. As we all know, a lot of information have been manipulated, distorted, and at the same time trying to be hidden, and for those information to be not available for us immediately, and you have to really dig deep. So as a guide to the truth and to find more about our existence, God, why we're here, our purpose, to for us to be directed to the right and correct path. I actually read this book. It's called God's Audacity, The Logic of God's Existence. It says in here that it's an epistemological, mathematical, biblical, geographical, archaeological, scientifically common sense, and cultural approach to searching and intellectually embracing the logic of God's existence. The author is Samuel K. Anderson, and you could also see him at the back page. And he's gotten great education, and great reputation as well as an author of the book. So, focusing on the book is very enlightening, and it requires like an open mind. It doesn't limit the audience only to those who are religious, because unlike everyone knows, God is not a religious God. So we praise him not because of the religion that we belong to, but because of the purpose he has provided and given to us, regardless of with the presence of religion or even not. So, as a guide to knowing the truth, I've actually read this book twice because it's very deep, meaningful, and it spills a lot of truth. I know reading the Bible takes a lot of time and knowledge and wisdom, because it was written in a different era wherein it makes it hard for you to comprehend how it was being written, what is the scenario going on at that time. So as a guide for us to know more about it, I've actually discovered a lot of great things that aren't in the current Bible. I guess some of us already know why, how, and when it's gonna be available. But again, it requires deep research, digging. It's a matter of how you do your research, like, because not everything's gonna be publicly available, or just gonna be available when you search something on Google. So yeah, there are 7 chapters. This book have 7 chapters. Just bear in me. So yep, the first chapter is about the introduction of the introduction of the book, God's Audacity, the logic of God's existence, wherein it sets the mood of the audience that he is inviting to write a book, and or to read the book rather. And as I've mentioned, it doesn't require a religion, even though you don't believe in God. No matter what perspective of mindset you have, or even that you're lost, like you don't know what to believe, whether to believe or not. So it actually gives you the consciousness and awareness of what this book is about. So very great. It's a very great introduction for the whole book. Second chapter is about the mathematical equation or formula of God's existence, wherein the author, for those who are who loves math, and diagrams, because I myself, I tend to retain information with illustration. So don't worry, this book is not just all words, but it has a lot of diagrams in it to be able to retain and further understand what other writer is about to write, or for us to read. So yeah, he was able to develop a theory, or rather a logic, of God's existence. Because sometimes, things are already presented in front of us and things are actually within us, but we somehow fail, or we're blindsided as to what are really these things, and what is the consciousness of God in us. So here we'll explain. It has information about Genesis. It also provided information about the Book of Enoch, which actually I have no idea about. Because if you read the Bible, you know, Book of Enoch is not there. However, again, it's a discovery that I've had in this book. So yeah, I don't want to spill a lot of information, so I want you to enjoy your journey in reading this book. Third chapter is about the God consciousness in everything. So again, as part of the introductions for us who have questions about God's existence, our purpose, His purpose of creating us, and what similarity do we have with God? Because based on Genesis, He mentioned that He created us in His own image, but the word image is very deep. Like, what are the similarities or common or common attributes that we really have in us, that's actually Himself, right? So yeah, you'll definitely enjoy the whole book, and it's very deep, but again, it's for all types of audiences. All right, chapter 4 is a theory of God's core. It answers why we're here, why God created this world, the lots of why. The why do you think there's bad? Why do you think there's evil? Why do you think there's good? So this chapter tackles the whole theory of God's core. So I'm sure some of you would have a good idea as to what it is, but this is very informative, and yeah, brings about awareness. So hope you enjoy that. So chapter 5 is about types of spiritual consciousness in relation to the logic of God's existence. So here it tackles about how aware we are in terms of God in this world. What do we is He just, sometimes we think, is He just up there watching us, or trying to send His spirit to us for us to be saved in bad things, or to be able to do good things? Depends on the scenario. So yeah, it'll discuss how aware we are that God's everywhere, or even if He's not, in what way does He express that He's really in us. So yeah, I really love how everything was written and relayed. It's not hard to read. You don't have a lot of dictionary. So you don't have a lot. You don't need to research a lot of words for dictionaries for you to understand, because again, it's within us. How God communicates to us is based on how He created us, which is within us. So you'll definitely understand how and why. Next chapter, chapter 6 is spirit, souls, living things, and non-living things. This is one of the greatest chapter. Well, my favorite is, of course, the theory of God's core, because it's a very intricate and rather, well, it's simple, but it's intricate because you don't think of it every day. But I'd say that, yeah, one of the favorite chapters I have is the theory of God's core, because of the approach. And chapter 6, which is the spirit, souls, living things, and non-living things. We miss the reason why is because I actually interchangeably use souls and spirits. I'm not the only one, right? So yeah, so this chapter will give you a more detailed information about what a spirit is, what a soul is, what the living thing is. So it's kind of hard to really understand Why should there be different in spirit? Why should there be different in soul? However, this writer just broke it down like that for you to understand. And it amazes me, how I've not thought about that, and how this book really helped me to open my mind more, open my heart more, to be able to understand, the things that I don't understand. And will give you a different perspective about how people see a specific topic of discussion. Again, this writer, it's like he's been through um, great information and have really researched about whatever's written in the book. So, yeah. And then lastly, chapter 7 is a scientifical, biblical, geographical, and archaeological evidence. Why do you think so? Well, here we're in the 21st century, wherein a lot of people would ask you, okay, what is your proof of God? What is your proof of these people in the Bible existence? Where was it? I mean, what is the correlation of this proof, and what does it really tell you? So this chapter will definitely provide you some information about what are the artifacts that are found, where, what are we doing right now, what are our scientists doing right now in trying to maybe manipulate a DNA, and how does that relate to what happened before already. So yeah, it's definitely a great experience. So hopefully you guys enjoy the book. It's only up to chapter 7, and it's God's number. So again, I highly recommend this book for those who are really good readers, and to all audiences, regardless of what religion. Again, God's Audacity, The Logic of God's Existence by Samuel K. Anderson. And you can find it in Amazon just for $10. Again, it's on Amazon just for $10. Just Google, or rather research God's Audacity, The Logic of God's Existence. Or you can find him just by searching the author's name, Samuel K. Anderson. So just on Amazon, okay? Just $10 only on Amazon. Make sure you buy the legit book from the legit author himself. He's the one who published his book. You'll see that in the information on Amazon. So, yep, $10 for a very great book, and very enlightening. So, hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, comment in the feedback about what you learned on the comment section, rather, on what you think about this book, and if you could also recommend some books for read and research. So yeah, thank you. Enjoy your reading. Bye.